schedule, do you have a schedule that you follow in general?
Well, in general, it's just kind of free play time until breakfast at 8. And then we have breakfast. Usually everybody needs a diaper. And then we do some kind of an activity. And then usually around 10 o'clock, the kids that take 2 naps, those kiddos are laying down and getting bottles and then laying down too. And then we wake up for lunch around 11 or 12. Otherwise, those kiddos that aren't taking that nap, they're doing more individual activities. And then we have lunch around 11 or 12. Those kiddos that didn't get a morning nap, then they lay down after lunch. And then after the morning nappers have lunch, then they usually have free play and, individual activities then. And then they usually lay back down around 2 when my one toddler friend that has 1 nap a day is getting up. And then we have snack. Sometimes those afternoon nappers, they need a snack before nap. Sometimes they need it after nap. It just depends. And and then we pretty much, by 4 o'clock, we're getting ready to go home because right now we have the scheduled pickups and drop off time. So.
Right. Yeah. So at this point is usually when I would introduce myself, but I kind of did that already. But again, my name is Dory Martin, and I'm a resource specialist with Child Care Aware Missouri, and I work focus in Show Me Child Care resources. So today we're talking about establishing routines and the importance behind that and what that would look like in a child care classroom. So first and foremost, just keep it simple. I mean, you kind of went through your whole day there in about 2 or 3 minutes and were able to put what you did or in a certain span of time throughout the day. And really, I could have done the same thing as a pre-K teacher. We arrive, we have a morning meeting, we start our centers, we have our centers, and then after our centers, it's lunchtime, and after lunchtime, we have outside time, so on and so forth. So having those simple schedules where maybe not every minute is planned out, but there are those hours or several hour periods where things are happening and you're able to accomplish tasks throughout the day. Now, kind of what I said, you have those time frames that you're looking at for different children depending on what their needs are, and especially in your classroom, because they can range so dramatically from their ability levels and what their schedules are requiring. You have those more broad time frames of, well, when they go to sleep, well, then this one gets up and we do this. So it's a little bit different for you. Then also, even with the little ones, and I'm sure you do this already, but even with those little ones, as you're completing the tasks during your day, talking about it, well, now it's time for a snack. We're going to sit down. Let's put on our bib. Here's your spoon. Let's eat this, that kind of thing, just so they're gathering that information and they're becoming acclimated with their schedule so that they're ready to go into their day, as little as they may be, kind of being able to expect what is going to happen next. And kind of what I just said, knowing what to expect, it's consistent. Every day is essentially the same. There may be some different activities throughout the week, but for the most part, each child can know, well, after centers, we go to lunch, and after lunch, we have outside time. I mean, the little ones might not be able to verbalize it so much, obviously, but they're becoming accustomed to that regular routine and that structure, which children so desperately crave. And also just it creates an awareness of transition. So they know when a break is coming. So maybe they're at one center and they're sick of that center, but they know that that center is temporary and it will end, and what that transition will look like. So it's time to go to the next center. So what do you need to do? You need to clean up and you need to wait until you're called to move to the next center, that kind of thing. And along with those transitions, giving time warnings. I know some teachers who have used some have used timers, but some have used like more pleasant things like a bell or something like that, just to initiate that transition for children to know it's time to clean up. And then after cleanup, we're going to move along to the next center. Something that I always found useful in the classroom was using pictures in the classroom. So every day our schedule looked the same, but maybe I worked in an elementary school, so sometimes there would be an assembly or something with the whole school, or we would have a special where we would go to PE or something like that. So having those pictures with the words along with them helps the children to know what to expect throughout the day, and if anything different might be happening that day, so that they're ready to face that. So as you know, when you're working with children, you have to just be flexible. You can't dig yourself into a hole and refuse to get out, because you're always going to have unexpected circumstances. And so in here I didn't say expect the unexpected, because you can't always expect it, but you can at least accept it and say, you know what, it's just the way the straws are falling today, and I've got to just roll with it, and we'll get through it, and everything will be fine. I know as a teacher, I feel like sometimes I had to tell myself that a lot of days, where you had plans, but plan A didn't work and plan B didn't work. So you're at plan V and you're just going for it. And then also, kind of as I mentioned, with having those schedule cards with pictures in case something different is popping up. If something different arises, or a new opportunity comes up, or maybe one of your infants and toddlers is like really interested in something, but you know it's time for this, don't worry about that. They really want to learn about this today, so that's what we're going to be doing today, that kind of thing. So that part of my presentation is about it, as far as just the generic rules of routine and schedule in childcare, because it is pretty simple and it is pretty straightforward as far as simple, consistent, and flexible. You don't need to get bogged down, but I will say that routine helps a child's day go better, and it helps your day go by smoother and faster. I felt like in my classroom, when we had our routine, the days would just fly by, because we would be checking off those things that we were doing, and suddenly it was snack time and almost time to go home, and you didn't know where the day went, but it was a great day. Yeah. Most of the time. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll get into the Show Me Childcare Resources site so that you can see what we have there. Okay. All right, so I'm actually going to start at the homepage just to show you the trail to get to this place. So if you don't have a login, I encourage you to request one. So that would look like on a different, here, let me go here. So if you don't have a login yet, you would go to showmeresource.org and you would click register.
Oh, okay.
And then once you've clicked register, you can fill out your information. You would put in Flo Valley Community College and all of that information. And then once you click register, I'll receive your notification saying that you have requested access. And since I know who you're with, then you would be able to have access to Show Me Childcare Resources. Now, once you log in, this is the homepage where you would go first. Now for this specific presentation, we're talking about establishing routines. So you would go to In the Classroom, scroll down. As you can see, there are a lot of different headers here, and you would go to Teacher Resources. And then over here on the left-hand side, you would click Establishing Routines. Now, so here, daily schedule samples and templates. It gives you different samples for different age groups. I assume you already have something like this in your classroom, but if you were knowing someone who's just starting out and they're wanting to do something different, or maybe just they've been around for a while and they want to do something new, I encourage you to just tell them about this. This goes through the importance of routines, what a transition can look like, what it would include, giving those time warnings like we talked about, and then how routine can boost social interaction between children, whether it be infants and toddlers who aren't so worried about their social interactions and their peers, but it still can help if you have that like social hour for those infants and toddlers to grow together. Down here, those schedule cards that I had mentioned, I just linked out to Pinterest and Teachers Pay Teachers, but you can Google this and find it. But it's really, because it is kind of a personal decision for your classroom, I didn't put a lot of samples from Google on here. I just wanted to leave that to you guys. If something speaks to you or speaks to your age group better than something else, then you go for that. Down here, classroom tips to support structure and routine. Now, some of these will link to different places in Show Me Childcare resources. So when I click classroom tips, it brings me to the classroom tips within teacher resources, but it's just also present at establishing routines because it is applicable there. So I'll go back. And then down here, here, I want to move this so it's not in the way. So one thing I do want to point out is if you are looking for new tools and resources in your classroom, or your program is looking to buy some new things, be sure to check out the Saving Money section in Show Me Childcare resources. So you just click that and it brings you to all savings programs, and you would want to click My Savings Portal. And it brings you to a page that lists all of the vendors that are available in Show Me Childcare resources. They offer additional discounts to users in Show Me Childcare resources. So I definitely encourage you to check that out in case you or someone in your program is looking to purchase new classroom tools and materials. And then down here, this is probably geared to 2s, 3s, 4s as far as childcare is concerned. As far as going through circle time ideas, planning your centers out, and then also like building your classroom library. So if you are looking to get some more books for your classroom, First Book offers some savings in Show Me Childcare resources, and there are also suggested book lists that are available in case you're looking for some new titles. And then, as always, ask families for donate. Maybe not right now. Everything's crazy, but asking families for donations of books they're no longer going to use is always a great avenue. I know I got a ton of donations from families who their children were getting older, they didn't need them anymore, and that was a great tool.
No, that's a great idea. I'd never thought of that.
In the world of Facebook Marketplace, everybody's, I mean, even if you're not trying to sell something, you're just trying to purge your house. I know I am. And so when you can give it to something that makes your heart feel good, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for me as far as the site's concerned?
No, this is just a great site. I'd never explored it. So I'm interested to look through it and see what I can find and share with my coworkers.
Yeah, definitely. Please, yeah, pass it along to anybody who you think would find it helpful. And if you ever have any questions about it, feel free. You've got my contact information, so give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll help you out. The site itself is pretty vast. There's a lot of resources in a lot of places. And so if there's something specific that you're looking for and you're just not finding it, let me know. And if I can't find it, then I'll let you know. But there's a lot here, and I don't want you to miss out on what's available to you.
No, thank you. This is amazing. I'm really excited. This is fun.
Well, hopefully you're able to get back to work soon, and I appreciate you getting on today. I mean, I hate that you guys had to shut down, but I'm glad that you were able to get on with me and
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have normally been able to do this. So
right. So actually, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So this isn't for clock hours, obviously. It's not necessarily something I'm sure about what time to do it. So I do it every Wednesday, or at least try to do it 3 Wednesdays a month. And I do it at the same time every Wednesday. And I did that as a way of like consistency, so that even if maybe your break time doesn't fall at that time, you know that it's at that time every Wednesday. So maybe it doesn't fall on this Wednesday, but next Wednesday it does. Do you feel like there is a better time to reach teachers? My worry is that if I do it in the evenings after childcare programs are closed and this isn't for clock hour, I know, in all honesty, the last thing that I want to do when I get home from work is get on a webinar that I'm not getting anything for, essentially. What is your feedback there?
I agree with you. It's definitely not a top priority in the evening. So I probably wouldn't have joined in the evening. I guess I would say more towards the 1 o'clock hour for me personally. Just because that's when my lunch break usually falls. And I would say maybe even, I know you want to do it consistently, but maybe one Wednesday offer it at 12:30 and, you know, one Wednesday offer it at like 1:15 or something. Because I know I wouldn't be able to get on right at 1 o'clock. You know, my lunch break starts at 1. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then I especially like where you're short, to the point, but yet you show me what you're talking about on the website. So I love that. That was really good, because I can definitely see me tuning in to other ones where you were to the point, you just had a couple slides. You know, you definitely tailored it to me. You know, obviously with a bigger group, you wouldn't be able to do that as much, but then you took me to the website. I love that. So
awesome. Thank you. So kind of piggybacking off of that, after this, I will email you, I think it's like 4-question survey. If you wouldn't mind giving me some feedback, I would really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, awesome. Again, shoot me any questions through email or give me a call if you find something or if you're looking for something and you have a question about it, okay?
Okay, definitely. Thank you, Dory.
Thanks, Dana. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.